Hello, hello, hello! Welcome everybody to Me First. Once again, almost called it Me First Mornings, Me First Moments. My name is Patricia Rivera-Wolfson, and I am a coach and energy practitioner who helps people simplify transformation through the Me First method, which I developed over the last 12 years. I have used this method with clients and personally to move through challenging times. And let me tell you, there's been some challenging times. So let's talk about today. What are we talking about today? Today we are talking about, well, let me just start by asking you this very important question, okay? I want to ask you, what are you practicing? Okay? Let me put the chat on again because I forgot to yesterday. If you're here, please say hi. Hello. Okay, so let's get talking, right? So what are you practicing? I want to ask you this very important question, okay? And I'll wait. Think about it. So each and every choice you make, consciously or unconsciously, is a practice, right? Your routines, your habits, your choices, your actions, that's all how you practice becoming who you want to be. So if you're in the midst of personal transformation, as I believe most of you are, most definitely if you're watching this channel, you probably are, you don't just start one way and then magically wake up one morning and become different. It's through intentional choices and intentional and sometimes inspired action that things really change. So it is in the practice of adjusting your perspective that you're able to see things differently. It's in the practice of establishing like a new habit that you're able to create a shift in your day-to-day. Everything in life is learned through practice. And, I have to say, it's fascinating to me when I talk to people going through life, navigating challenges, changing, evolving, and they're just beating themselves up because they don't have things figured out. Newsflash! No one has anything figured out. No one. People are equipped differently for their life journey. Depending on your upbringing, your race, your religion, culture, community, your immediate support system, or your spiritual support system, you're going to have a different perspective on life. And you're going to have had different experiences, and that's how you develop that different experience, that different perspective. And I want to say right now that no matter what that looks like, your experience is valid. Okay? Whether people know it, understand it, believe it, your experience is valid. Let's just say that. But, sometimes our experiences and our social and emotional upbringing don't really prepare us for the challenges that we sometimes face, hence transformation, right? And in order to deal with something that you've never had to address before, you have to learn something new. You must grow. You must expand your knowledge and expose yourself to a new perspective, right? And once you have this new to you information and you have filtered it through your current perspective, your current values, you must take a look at how it can help you in crafting a solution or in creating new habits that will help you step into this necessary evolution of yourself, right? That version of you that can handle these new challenges. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to evolve through life's changes, through life's challenges, through practice. All right, so if you're just joining me right now, make sure you say hello, hi. Let me know that you're watching, and please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel right now, Me First Moments. Go onto YouTube, just put the little @ symbol, Me First Moments, and subscribe and ding the bell so that you can get notifications whenever there's a new video up. And while we're talking about fun, awesome things, don't forget to download the Me First Quick Reference Guide. It's totally free, and it includes how to calibrate your energy, the Me First Mornings ritual, which we do together, a quick GPS activity, your daily ABCs, and a simple guide to managing stress. They're just quick little reference sheets that will help you calibrate your energy and may help you kind of evolve and move things along. They are all little practices that you can introduce into your day. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. Go on Facebook at Me First Moments, on Instagram at Patricia Rivera-Wolfson, and TikTok at Me First Moments once again. So that's my little blah, blah, blah for you. And now let's get started. We're going to start our day. We're going to start with our Me First ritual. And then we will talk a little bit about today's topic and pull a card for the energy of the day. Okay? So let's get going. This would be the time in if I had the budget that I would, like, you know, press the button and my team would then put the intro song on, but no. Oh, I don't know if I can do this. Can I do this? Look at this. Oh, lighting the candle from upside down. Let's see here. I think I need a new candle. What do you guys think? I haven't actually used this candle in a long time. This is, yes? Yeah! Okay, I did it. Woohoo! All right, lit my candle. You can light my candle. All right, for those of you who watched, who loved Rent, or who music heads, oh, look what I did to my thumb. Whatever. All right, here we go. Next. So now that we've lit our candle, I'm going to put a little essential oils. Get into the groove of things. I like to do this because I find that when you do the same steps every day, right, we are establishing a new practice, we're establishing a new routine, and these things, as you integrate them into your daily life, then it's no longer, you know, a new thing or something you have to think about. It just happens automatically, and that's really where the transformation begins, is when you are able to add a new habit, a new perspective, and new things done intentionally and repeatedly and consistently will create a new foundation for you, especially if you're in the midst of transformation. So I find that this Me First ritual is very helpful because it just gets me, woo, that was loud. It just gets me on track. It just brings me right back to where I need to be when I'm feeling off kilter, overwhelmed, stressed out. So let's do this together and maybe release some of the stress of the day. I know it's not like late, but you know, lunchtime stress. All right, so we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. We're going to take a deep breath in, we're going to hold for 5 seconds, and then we're going to release that breath. And when you exhale, make sure that your exhale lasts longer than the inhale. Usually I do an inhale count to 5, hold for 5, and exhale for 10. All right, let's do that together. Okay, another deep breath in, and I want you to really just, this is so that we can expand our capacity, expand our lungs, expand our receiving. So let's just bring in that breath and take a deep, deep one, okay? And hold. And release. And when you're releasing, you notice how I'm doing it with pursed lips. That helps extend the breath. It helps you control your breath. It's actually something I used to learn when I took singing lessons, but it's very helpful for the breathing and to slow down that breath because it's intentional breath that we're looking for here. Okay, let's do one more time. Last deep breath, and then we're going to do a little stretch, shake it out, and our prayer. Okay, here we go. Release, 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 okay? So here we go. Now we're going to do a little stretching. As you guys know, if you watch me, I always start with the shoulders because that's where I have the most tension. And you can begin where you have the most tension, whether it's your head, your neck, your shoulders, your back, your legs, right? If you have time to do more intentional stretching or even something like a yoga routine, that would be wonderful because your body needs to release that stuck and stagnant energy that exists, right? And it's all stuck in our body and it's creating tension, it's creating pain. And so the more you can do to release that tension, to release that stuck and stagnant energy in your body, the better it will be, the more flow you will experience in your life. And it's just a great way to start your day. And if you can't start your day, like this is the afternoon, it's a great way to recalibrate yourself. It's a great way to bring yourself back to like status quo. That's the word that came to me. I was like, there's another word that I was looking for. Hold on, I'm just fixing my camera, which looks a little wonky. Oh, hi, Linda. Okay, I think my camera's better. Let me know if it looks a little weird. It's like kind of crooked. Okay, here we go. All right, yay, I love you. Okay, so now we're gonna shake it out. We're gonna shake it out. We've stretched our body. Now we're gonna shake things out. Woo! Right, and you can jump. right? I'm sitting in my chair. I'm not going to get up and jump right now. But if you can jump, jump. If you can dance, dance. Just do whatever you can to shake things off your body. Ideally, if you can go shake it out outside in your backyard on grass and get that sticky and stuck and stagnant energy released into the earth and let Mother Nature take care of it and turn it into whatever she needs. Okay, so now we're going to say our little prayer and we're going to talk about our stuff. All right. I always like to say to take a deep breath before my prayer, but here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, my love, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of infinite consciousness connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away all the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for showing me the signs and synchronicities and allowing anybody watching to see the signs and synchronicities that will highlight the most amazing route, the ease and fun in their life so they may walk in alignment with their highest good for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Sometimes I add things at the end. It's just like I get the hit to add a little extra. So yeah, thank you for sharing that with me. If you don't want to say my prayer, or you want to say something else, or you just want to sit in silence, that's okay too. This is your practice, right? I call it the Me First practice. It's because it's your practice, and it's you putting yourself first, you establishing your own routine that feels good to you. Okay, so let's talk about practice, because that's what today's topic is about, right? Practice. So I'm a mom of 3 boys, and if parenting isn't learning and growing every single day, I don't know what is. I mean, it's not that I thought I was going to be easy, but I definitely did not think it was going to be unlearning years and years of conditioning and facing every single trigger of my childhood almost every single day. But in order for me to become the parent I want to become, I have to practice, because this is new for me, you know. Even though I have been a parent for almost 16 years, I have never been a parent to an almost 16-year-old. I have never been a parent to, you know, a 13-year-old like my 13-year-old. I've never been a parent to my 11-year-old who is 11, right? His brothers were different. Each child is different. Each experience. Not to mention that the world is different. So we are always evolving, right? So practice is the method that I talk about the most, and you know, I've been talking about sort of changing that meaning of practice. I was talking to Linda, who's watching, hi Linda, about changing the word practice, because practice just feels like you're slogging through and practicing. But the truth is that practice is calibrating your energy, right? That's what practice is. Practice is adjusting. Practice is like, you know, you try something, it doesn't work. You try again. You try something, it sort of works. You try again. You try something, it works. Then it stops working. You try again. This is not failure. This is practice, okay? And if you are not practicing something new, you're doing the same thing over and over again and practicing that habit, that belief, that action that is not helping you to evolve, that is not practicing a skill that is going to help you handle your challenges, right? So unless you're really happy with how things are going right now, it's time to practice doing something different, right? And that's the key. We have to do things differently than the way we've been doing them, especially if you're in the midst of transformation. And like I said, we're all in the midst of transformation, whether or not you accept it, embrace it, believe it. But there's not one person that I have spoken to in the last few weeks, and actually in the last few years, that isn't going through some sort of incredible life transformation. Whether like us in my house, the loss of my husband and my kids, their father, and the transformation that has come from that. And we're not transformed. Like, I mean, yes, I was, you know, married one day and a widow the next, so that thing happens. But stepping into what that looks like for me, stepping into and learning how to be this new version of me who has to go through life without my best friend, who has to parent without his input. That is something that I have to practice every day. And some days I'm really great and I've like nailed it. And some days they're just not great days. And what I'm practicing is not helping me, or I'm practicing an old habit or an old action that had worked for me for whatever reason, but is no longer working for me because I am in the midst of transformation, right? So if you are in the midst of transformation and something that you've been doing suddenly isn't working, or just the way things have been going, you thought they were working, but you are not where you want to be, or your life doesn't look like what you'd hoped it would be, it is time to slowly and systematically change how you're doing things, change your approach. Now, you don't want to change everything at once, right? But you do have an opportunity to practice changing whatever is most important to you. So on a personal level, I'll share with you, and then we'll pull the energy card. But I want to talk about my personal stuff in as much as I can, because of course there's a lot of personal things that I'm going through, that my family's going through, that it's not up to me to tell you everything. But I will be as open and vulnerable as I can be while respecting the transformation that my family is going through personally, okay? But I will say this. I am learning every day. Every day I am learning about myself, about my children, about grief, and about ADHD. And I know that seems kind of out of left field, but for me personally, and I'm going to talk about this probably more as, the show goes on, because it's an important part of who I am and my identity, which is realizing that I am neurodiverse. And of course, only realizing that after I discovered more about neurodiversity through my parenting journey. Of course, that's how it works, right? Is that as we're trying to help our children, suddenly we realize that, oh, this is actually going to help me too. And so one of the things that I have learned about ADHD and how my brain functions is I've learned that there's certain things that are hard for me, right? It is hard for me to do non-preferred tasks, okay? Let's just say it like that. And I'm not going to go into a whole ADHD lesson here, and nor am I going to discuss anything more than my personal experience and sort of how it has helped me. So learning that I have a neurodiverse brain has given me this new information, and now I can decide what to do with this new information. Now that information, knowing that, made me feel a little bit better about some of the challenges that I faced in my life, which I thought was because I was lazy, or I thought it was because I just was different from everybody and I just didn't have the same capacity. And to some extent that's true. I think differently. My brain, lacks a certain chemical called dopamine. And so certain things where other people can find motivation to do it, I don't have the chemical that gives me the motivation to do it. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have to do it, right? It doesn't mean that I don't, if something's hard for me, then I'm like, oh, it's hard for me, right? And this is, I won't get into that, but it does, this is where the stickiness of labeling comes in. And I've had this discussion with many different people. But it was important for me to be able to label my ADHD. And that was important because it took away the guilt and shame of how my brain functions, okay? However, now that I know how my brain functions and I know that I have certain deficiencies, chemical or otherwise, then I need to create new habits, develop new skills. I have to create a foundation of success for myself. So I need to put things in place that are going to help me do the things that are hard for me to do. Because guess what? All the things that are hard for me to do are the things that are kind of required in the mothering parenting journey. Like, staying organized, keeping things, keeping the house clean, getting people's schedules organized. Like, organization is not where I shine. Cleaning is not where I shine. None of those things that are really important for my job as a mother, as a caretaker, as someone who was in charge of the entire household, those things, keeping track of those things and doing those things that are most definitely non-preferred tasks for me are really hard. But I can't just not do them. If I don't pay my bills, if I don't, show up for appointments, then systematically my life is going to fall apart, because there's certain things that whether or not I want to do them, I have to do them. I have to do them for my own well-being. I have to do them for the safety and security of my family. And so I need to do it. And because it's hard for me, I need to figure out how to do it. So that means I need to practice. And so I have been really focused in my life in how can I create the conditions that will help me practice the skills that I need to do in a way that feels easy, right? So I'm going to give you an example right now with showing up here on the show, which is something like I have to create a habit. I thought about doing this show once a week, right? As opposed to 5 days a week. But like once a week doesn't create a habit for me. I need to do something consistently every day, right? And so for me, the way I created this show and the way I intend to show up for this show is I know that I can create consistency if I show up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then just take the weekend off, right? Treat it like a job. So that creates the habit of me showing up and coming here every day. Now, it may not be easy, right? It's not easy to show up every day, but the practice of showing up is where I gain confidence in showing up. It's where I gain clarity in how showing up and what makes me feel good and what doesn't make me feel good and what adjustments I can make. So in the action that feels uncomfortable, you will gain confidence, you will gain clarity, right? Or you will gain a different perspective that may allow you to try something different, something new, which will create a different result, right? And so if you're looking for different results, if you're looking to step into a different level of your life, then you have to do things differently and you have to practice doing these things differently, but in a way that helps you thrive. So if you're practicing something and it's not working for you, you don't beat yourself up and go, I'm terrible, I can't do this. You have to figure out for yourself, is this practice? Is this something that I need to practice more because I just need to continually do it this way and eventually I will get better at this? Or is this practice not helping me? Is this practice not something that is shifting things for me, right? Only you can answer that. You have to figure out what practice is going to help you evolve into the person that you need to become for these challenges, for that transformation. Okay? I love you. I love you. Thank you. All right. So now I'm going to pull a card because I think you get the picture of practice, right? Everything is a practice. So everything that you're doing, you are practicing, right? So whether it's in your parenting journey, how you talk to your kids is how you're practicing talking to them. Whether it is in your business journey, how you are showing up in your business or not showing up is you practicing, right? So what are you practicing? Are you practicing being a gentle, peaceful version of yourself? Are you practicing being a badass? Are you practicing using your voice? Are you practicing setting your boundaries? Now, that doesn't mean you have to have it perfect, right? Like, there's plenty of times where I set boundaries and then I just let people just stomp all over them because boundary setting is new, right? Specifically my kids. I'm terrible at setting boundaries with my kids, okay? I admit it. I'm terrible. But I'm getting better and I'm working on it and I'm practicing. And so whereas I wasn't able to keep a certain boundary before, I have now practiced it enough that is now an established boundary in my home. That is how you change things. That is how you shift things. You practice one step at a time, one choice at a time, one moment at a time. And you don't beat yourself up if when you practice it doesn't work, right? When athletes are practicing, when there's a basketball player as an athlete and he's like #1 athlete, in the NBA and he's practicing his shot, sometimes he misses it. Steph Curry sometimes misses his shots. LeBron James sometimes does not get his 3-pointers, right? Sometimes does not get his free throws. And they're professionals and they do this all the time, but sometimes they don't do it, right? And what makes them better? What makes them stronger? What makes them keep going? Practice. So practice being who you are. Practice being who you want to be, right? And if what you're practicing is not working for you, practice something else. Practice something else. I love how that sounds. Okay, anyway. All right, so I'm going to pull some cards right now. Well, not some. I'm just going to pull one card today. And I'm just going to see what's the energy of the day. So when you are practicing today, I want you to think about the energy of the day and how you can approach your practice. Okay, so here we go. And then we're going to wrap it up because we're almost near the end. I'm trying to be respectful of people's time and keep my show to, no more than 30 minutes. Which means I have 5 minutes to pull a card. Woo! We can do this. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay, what's the energy of the day? Look at this. Follow the leader. What a perfect card. Oh, hold on. You can't see it. Oh, man. I have to remember to do this like in reverse so that you guys can actually see it. Okay, but it's number 40, if you can see it. And follow the leader, okay? Now, this is perfect, right? Now, why is this perfect for today? Because we're talking about practice, right? So, how do you know what to practice, right? Like if you are, doing whatever you're doing and it's not working for you and you want to start a new practice, how do you know what to practice? Now, a lot of what I talk about on Me First is, about practice. I mean, it's all about practice, and I talk about finding your GPS word, that feeling, that sentence, that something that encompasses what you want your life to look like, right? Whatever that might be, and you have to practice getting closer to that by bringing that feeling into your day-to-day, right? But maybe you don't know what that looks like. Maybe you don't know what that feels like, right? Maybe if you've always been in a traumatic and loud and violent environment growing up and you haven't had anything else other than experience, then you may not know what it feels like to feel safe. You may not know what it feels like to feel happy. You may not know what it feels like to feel confident or secure or any of those things, right? So it's foreign. It's completely foreign. So if it's foreign to you, if you don't know what that's like, this is a great opportunity for you to find a mentor, or, obviously, you can find a coach, a therapist, or someone. But in this case, it's follow the leader. So this card is really about finding a mentor. It's about emulating what you see. It's about looking at someone else or some other situation and looking for the examples of what you want out of your life, and then making those choices, right? Like that person whose life you covet, right? Or whether it's a mentor or someone who you admire or someone you see online that you're like, God, they seem like they have a great life, right? If you can connect with them and talk to them about how they look at things and what they do, that's even better, because then you can have like a one-to-one discussion with somebody and really get to know what steps they took to get to where they want or where they wanted. Now, this is about me first, right? Like my whole thing is me first. So if someone else did something in a certain way and that doesn't work for you, then that is not your mentor. That's not the leader you want to follow. If the way they do things does not resonate with who you are as a person, right? So it's like if you want to make a lot of money and somebody who made their money, but like they stepped all over people on the way to getting their money, if you care about that process, about how they got their money, if you don't care how they got their money and just want to do it that way, then okay. But if you care about the process, then look for people, look for mentors, look for examples of people doing what you want to do, of people feeling how you want to feel. That's what you need to find, is evidence out there, and then figure out how can you apply this new information, this new lesson, this new habit. How can you take a different action like this leader, like this mentor? What kind of action can you take that's like them, like the action that they take that feels good to you, that you can practice over and over and over again, and get your inspiration from people who already are doing what you want to do? Because if they can do it, it's just evidence that it can be done. So if they can do it, you can do it. And I believe in you, right? Okay, so that's the tip for today. I will be back tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow's topic is going to be, but we'll see. But yeah, I look forward to being here with you every day. Don't forget, it's a practice. You're practicing. And if you need a little assistance, if you want some help in knowing how to practice, or someone that will just hold your hand while you practice a whole new thing, then please feel free to reach out to me through any of my social media. Just send me a private message, and I will be there to help you. We can get a little session together, and I will help you through this, because whatever you're going through, I promise you, you've got this. All right, have a great day. I'll see you all tomorrow.